and welcome to the podcast, The Growing Pair. The Growing Pair. My name is Isaac Goldfarb, and co-host with me here,
I'm Sham.
Sham.
Charmian is the full
Shamian.
name, but let's
Yeah,
go for Sham because it's much simpler.
Sham. Looking Sham, as always.
Thank you so much. Stop it.
And so we are creating a new podcast, and we have decided, well, I've decided, you kind of follow it through, didn't you, Sham?
I've been forced into this against my will.
Okay. No, you haven't.
No.
So the name of the podcast is The Growing Pair, and we are doing it as beginners or life coach beginners, and we wanted to share the journey with you, how it is to become a life coach, but also we are knowing each other for how long, Sean?
Is it just over a week and a half, which seems crazy to me. I don't understand that.
We will talk about it. We will talk about all of that. But before we going into the details, into the nitty and gritty of what we are doing in this episode, Sham will get us into the zone by
Yes.
some breathing techniques. Sham, would you like to do it with us?
For sure. I would love to. So I just feel this is a really nice way, and I'm doing it with my in my training sessions at the moment, training coaching sessions, where you've either been rushing around with the kids this morning or walking the dog or just, had a busy morning, and it's nice to just make that cut off from crazy life into just having a bit of time together. So a bit of breath work just gets you in the zone. So we'll just do 3 rounds of breathing. So when you're ready,
I'm ready. I was born ready, Sham. Come on, I'm ready for this.
Let's go. Okay, so breathe in for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more. In for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. In for 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're new people. We're ready to go. A bit of breath work. Who knew?
Wow, Sham, this is amazing. Well, if you hear that episode in your car, just make sure that you're in a safe place, and then don't because I closed my eyes and I straight away got into the zone. But thank you so much, Sham. Every episode you are going to do that to us and focus.
Yes, you're welcome.
That was amazing, really. I really enjoyed it.
Good, I'm so pleased. It's good for when you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious as well. It just recenters you and you're ready to go.
So what is The Growing Pair, Sham? What is that podcast about?
So I think we're going to learn what it's about as we go along. But the first concept is my beautiful Isaac, who I've only known for a week and a half, and myself getting our heads around navigating this really interesting journey into becoming life coaches or mindset coaches or whatever fluffy word you want to call it. We've both got our different reasons why we want to be doing it, and we're going to go into all of it as the podcast develops. But also, even if no one is listening to us, we're going to have a lovely little memoir of our growing friendship.
and that's the beauty of it. And to share with you, listeners and viewers, if you watch us in YouTube, is that we met in a webinar. It was a webinar that was introduced by AC, I think it was, and we had a webinar about how it is to be a life coach and what does it mean and etc. And then during that webinar, you kind of break out to rooms and then you meet some individuals. But oh my God, just before the end, this beautiful Sham came like on the screen and answered the question or asked a question. And I looked at her and I'm like, who is that gorgeous lady? And I would like to get to know her. Something in Sham in that moment, there was kind of an aura. So I immediately went to that chat and I said, hello, Sham, this is Isaac. Would you like to speak? And I left you my number. And then what happened?
Then we connected and we had our first conversation. And I know it's so cheesy, and I know people say this all the time, but I honestly felt like I knew Isaac for much longer. And I told him some things that I don't think I've even told some of my closest friends. It just felt natural. And those kind of connections, now I'm growing older and realizing what is important to me, they are to be nurtured. And I was just really excited to see where it went. But he hadn't sprung this podcast idea on me yet. This was up his sleeve. It was just to have a little chat and see what we were.
And the thing is, Shab, it's like it's not like I am having this idea of podcast for weeks and weeks and weeks. I had this podcast idea like maybe 24 hours earlier, right? And the moment I met you and the moment we had this chat and we got along so well, I'm like, hold on a second. Would she be up for it? Would she be up to go to that journey with me, to that podcast? And you know what? This is amazing what we're doing, because I think whomever is listening to it needs to understand that there are opportunities in life. Always there are opportunities in life. And the question is, are you taking them? Are you looking at them and say, oh, I would like to do it? Are you actually doing it? And
Have you heard of the red car theory? Sorry to cut you off.
No, tell us.
So the red car theory, I'll probably get this wrong, but Google it if I have. The red car theory is, so on your way to, like this morning when you were out going on your morning walk, whatever it may be, how many red cars did you see? And obviously that's really hard to recall. I don't know. But if I told you tomorrow morning to count how many red cars you saw on your morning walk, you would log that. So it's about looking for opportunities, not letting them pass you by. Something along those lines.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it, the red car. We have a different game I'm playing with my family, which is a yellow car, but I think this is not the same thing. Like we punch and say
whatever
yellow car.
color car you want.
And then you get more points for pink car and all of that. So this episode is about introducing ourselves. And I let you, Sham, to start. Who are you? Tell us more about yourself.
Well, I'll start off PG and keep it simple. But I am Sham. I live in Bristol at the Mo. I have worked in recruitment and doing a lot of kind of career coaching, which is how I've moved into this space for the last 15 years, which is crazy. It's been great. I've loved it. I've evolved my career as I kind of wanted to, but now I'm a year and a half off my 40s. It's time to do something that I really want to do. So very quickly, I took voluntary redundancy at the end of last year. I was job hunting and I was like, hang on a second, I'm not going to get this opportunity again to be out of work with a bit of financial backing. So I took the leap and I went to Thailand for a couple of months, completely fulfilled the cliche of finding myself and becoming a hippie and realizing that the way I've been doing things wasn't actually how I wanted to live. So I came back and this year has been an adventure. But I took the plunge and I've wanted to do life coaching, mindset coaching, again, whatever you want to call it, or at least study it to see how it benefits my life as well as perhaps becoming a career. I'm not sure yet. This is, again, what this podcast is going to help me with. And I'm going back out to Thailand in 2 weeks today for 6 months. Whee! And whilst I'm out there, I'm going to be doing my studies, keeping in touch with Isaac, hopefully doing some of these podcasts together, and really just kind of very selfishly focusing on me and what I want to do next. So I'll be showing off, sitting at a beach bar soon, I hope. That's me.
I love it. I love this. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing it with us, but I love that
Pleasure.
idea of you deciding to focus on yourself, because a lot of it is, and it's not from a selfish perspective at all. It's from, I want to take care of myself. And this is something that we sometimes forget as people to do.
Yeah.
We need to remember that we need to take care of ourselves for us to be able to take care of others.
I agree. And especially as a female at this age, which I know you and I have touched upon, where perhaps the norm or whatever it may be, societal ideas, is that I maybe would be married with children, etc. And I haven't chosen that path. So I'm definitely going to go and live my best life some other way.
And the
But
best.
what about you? Yes, exactly. Tell us
So,
about you, Isaac,
all
please.
right, I'll tell you about myself. So, I've been in the, well, I'm still in the IT industry for over 25 years, being an engineer, web developer, team leader. And then in the last job, I am a director, and it's all great and fun. And I've been doing this, I was working for different companies and got to know different type of products and all of that. But something happened in my mind in the last few weeks, and changes at work are coming and all of that. And I ask myself, what do I want to do? What would I love doing going forward? And people always tell me that I'm very good with talking to people. My husband, bless him, is laughing at me, where he says, every time you talk to people, you make them cry. And I said, no, you're not marketing me correctly. This is not what is it about. People are coming to me and I'm asking questions and they open up. So I woke up one morning with this kind of light bulb moment where I felt like, oh, maybe I can be a life coach. And I check in straight away what's available out there. At the same day, there was a introduction webinar with the Coaching Academy, which we are both registered now there. And it felt so right. Now, what's going to happen? I'm like you, Sham. I'm trying to learn it. I'm trying to understand my path going forward. I know that I'm enjoying this process so much. I'm learning about myself so much. And if you are a life coach and you are beginning to be a life coach, probably you know what I'm talking about. It's open your mind in so many ways that, yeah, I'm feeling like I'm developing new me in a way.
Amazing.
So that's what we are going to do here as well in this podcast. We are going to share with you our process, our journey. And, I would love to have exotic podcast episodes from Thailand, Sham. But of course, you're going to take care of yourself. So whenever you can and whenever you are able and whenever you want, as
Amazing.
we would love to hear from you, and I would love to know, what the hell have you been drinking last night?
I was going to say, so long as you don't mind me a bit tipsy sometimes with my pina colada, I'm there.
And also, you are experiencing something very, very special here, if you are listening or watching this, as we literally know each other 10 days. This podcast, I don't know how many podcasts out there or how many YouTube channels out there, are showing a growing in friendship. And that's why our podcast is called The Growing Pair, because we are growing
Would
as
you
people.
like to explain that a little bit more, Isaac?
So grow is the one of the methods, the methods in coaching. It's the goals, it's the options, it's the actions, and the what's the L? What's the way forward? Grow, way forward. Yeah. So it's no, it was goals, reality,
Goal.
options, and way forward. Yeah. And that's grow. Well, someone needs to do more homework, huh? And and no, and when we were thinking about names, we had different ideas, but suddenly that bling in my mind, we are growing as people, and we are growing this friendship, and the growing pair is a bit naughty, so it's also us as well.
That was all Isaac. Thank you. I would never come up with such a name.
Let us know, but if you like this name and you're listening, let us know in the platform. Comment below what you think about the name. Are you connecting to it or not? We would love to hear with you, and we would love to build also community of listeners as well, and viewers. We are putting this out there in the different platforms of the podcast, and we will put it in YouTube as well, so you can watch us as well. But that's what us. So we're coming to an end for the first episode, but I want to ask you, what's your expectation? If you need to think one of expectation, what would it be from this podcast?
Expectation from this podcast. I would like to think, because as anyone who knows, who either works from home on their own or is studying at home on their own, it's very different not having people to share ideas with, and no one's perfect. I am not starting this course or doing this podcast as so many life coaches are, who have trained as a monk, who are great at meditation, who are just very zen and spiritual and I struggle with all of that stuff. I don't want to say normal, because what is normal, but I'm kind of status quo girl who just, I am going to say girl and not lady, thank you. Girl who just enjoys having fun, and I want to do this course and make it more accessible to people around me who aren't that way inclined, who don't get meditation, who don't get breath work, just a normal, accessible way of understanding coaching. And with that, for me personally, my expectation of this podcast is to be able to talk about things I'm finding difficult, things I don't get, things that I've really enjoyed, like my own limiting beliefs, being nervous to do this podcast, whatever it may be, just having some like-minded people to share ideas with, even if it is just me and you, Isaac. That's just going to be a game changer, because you can get in your own head sometimes when you're sitting at home on your own, like, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I don't get it. So having people to share with, that's my expectation.
I'm listening to you, and it's our maybe fourth, fifth call we are having together, and we are recording podcast, and I'm falling in love with you every time I'm hearing you, because our mindset is so alike. It's so alike, and that's what's crazy with all of this, because I'm feeling the same. I'm feeling sometimes very lonely in those studies, and I'm with myself, and I'm feeling that, and yes, I can chat with the students and all of that, but having this podcast will allow us to explore things that maybe we find difficult, or we want to ask each other. And maybe by doing that, if you are studying to be a life coach and you're listening to that, maybe it will help you as well. So we would like to invite you to send us an email. There will be an email. I'm going to create one, thegrowingpair@gmail.com. That will be our email. We would like to invite you to get in touch with us, and in the platform you're hearing it, comment below in the YouTube channel. If you are watching this, get in touch. Let us know you are listening to us, you're hearing us, and maybe you'll give us some ideas of what to talk next. We have a lot of ideas, right? But we would like also to hear from you. So before we finish our first episode, Sham, we finish this. 2 things you're taking from this podcast.
2 things I'm taking
From this
from this
episode, sorry.
podcast.
From this episode. Sorry.
From this episode.
Yeah.
I love you, man. That's my first one. I love you. And I think whatever happens, I'm just so grateful to have you in my life now. Can I just quickly say that already Isaac has put his hand up for when I get out to Thailand and have my first, I'm here for 6 months on my own. He's already put his hand up to say, give me a call. And you know that telephone call is coming. So Isaac, that's the first thing I'm taking away. I just can't wait to see what happens with you and I. And second of all, I feel like I hope a little community is going to be grown, and that gives me a real sense of empowerment and excitement.
I love I'm taking from this episode your breathing technique. It made me, I was a bit nervous before we started recording it, and something in this breathing technique made me like put me in the zone and focus. So thank you so much for that. And I will steal your first one. I love you too, Cham. Seriously. I don't understand how it happened. I just don't understand. But again, this is a lesson to us all out there. You have the red car, just...
You're my red car.
So thank you so much, all of you that watched us or listened to us, and see you and hear from you in our next episode. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, so how do I stop recording?